So images are essential for any thesis, not because they tell more than 1,000 words, but because they illustrate the point you want to make. And we are very visual creatures. So adding images is something you will definitely come across your thesis. How do you do it? I'm going to show it to you again in Overleaf, but it works the same in your local environment. If you work with Overleaf or any local editor, you usually have a button that allows you to add an image with a few clicks. If I have a look here at the icon bar in Overleaf, I can see this button here and it says insert figure. And this is actually what we want. So we're not just inserting an image, we're always inserting a figure. So a figure is an image with a caption and usually also a number that we can reference to. So I'm going to choose the place where I want my figure to insert. And let's say we have this subsection that says even more further down, and here's a bit of text, and here, like after this text, before this is a paragraph, here I want my figure to appear. So I'm going to click here on this insert figure button, and Overleaf then lets me choose where I want to or which figure I want to insert. So I can choose it from the project files if I already have it in my project, which I don't. I can upload it from my computer. This is what I want. If I have a URL, I can also add that, so Overleaf will fetch it from that URL. And should you have multiple Overleaf projects, you can even get it from another project. But let's choose upload from computer here. And then here on my local drive, I have added a file called road.jpg, and this is from the also wonderful platform called Unsplash that has a lot of Creative Commons 0 images free for use. This one is this nice road here by Dan Harrison. This is the one I'm going to use for my examples. So I'm going to switch back to Overleaf, and Overleaf asks me to drag or select my image here. So I'm going to use the Windows Explorer, take the road.jpg and drop it here. And then I can choose how I want my file to be named in the project. Road.jpg is fine, but should you want to rename it, you can do that here as well. And then I would suggest use the images folder here, because you can see here on the left, grayed out, there's a folder called images, and it says place images here. And this is where you want to have your images so that the template can find it. Keep the include caption and keep the include label checkboxes, and then choose the width of your image. You can either say 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, or full width. I'm just going with 3/4 now, and you can change that later if you want. And then I'm going to say insert figure. And Overleaf is now uploading my file. You can see road.jpg has appeared here in the images folder, and this is what Overleaf created for me. It is basically a 6-liner starting with begin figure and end figure. Inside of it, we have a centering command, we have an include graphics command, a caption command, and a label command. And if I recompile my document now, watch this bit here, because this is where we inserted our graphics. You might wonder, where is it? The document's obviously done, but there is no street to be found. And if I scroll down, you can see, oh, it has appeared on top of the next page. And you might wonder, why is that the case? And this is because we are using LaTeX figure environment. So what is a figure environment? A figure environment is, as the name suggests, the way to place a figure. So it is a graphic, an image file that you add with the include graphic statement here, but it also includes a caption and also a label. The centering command just makes it centered, obviously. So why is it not where we said it should be? This is because LaTeX has a very sophisticated algorithm to place the images for you. And the thing is, if we had placed it here, where we said we wanted it to have, this wouldn't have worked, because obviously the image is too big for this location. So LaTeX ran his algorithms and said, hey, listen, the next best possible way to place this image is just on top of the next page, and this is where it went. Okay, so this might seem a bit unusual at first because if you're working with applications such as Microsoft Word, you're used to that the things always end up where you want them to have, at least at first, until you add a few paragraphs and things start to shift around. But in LaTeX, you should get used to this because this is actually a relief for you, because you don't necessarily need to always make sure that the placement of your images works out. LaTeX does it for you. But then you might say, so let's say this paragraph is or references this road. How does the reader know that this belongs up here? And this is why you should always reference all of your images in your text. So let's say this lorem ipsum text here was about this road, and somehow explains why roads are important and stuff like that. Then you would write something like this: see figure, and then use the ref command to reference to the label inside here, yeah? And it's called fig, not materials, it's called fig placeholder, yeah? For details. And what this does is it actually adds a sentence here, yeah? And it says, see figure, not app placeholder, I'm sorry. Fig placeholder, this is what we want. As you can see, if the reference doesn't work, you see those two question marks. But now it says, see figure 2.1 for details. And since this is figure 2.1, the reader then now knows, okay, I need to maybe scroll to the next page to see that this is figure 2.1. And they can obviously find it. You might want to change the label. So this might be called fig road example or something. Then you always want to change or update the reference here. So let's call this a road example. Plus, you always want to give your images a proper caption. So the caption should always describe the image in question, or should basically make your point. And it should be something like this. The road winds through a beautiful scenery. Obviously, this doesn't really make much sense, but let's assume that this is what the image is supposed to show. Then you want to add this. And always see your caption or assume that your caption is a full sentence. So you want to stop or end or finish your sentence with a period here. That works out really well. And in case this caption needs to be longer, it doesn't have to be one sentence. You will see that while it is just a one-liner, it is centered. But should we add a few more sentences here, yeah, so that it gets longer, then you can see that it is set like this. So even this works out really well. Captions can be bigger or longer, and they still look okay. Another thing, if you remember when we inserted the image, we were asked how big we wanted it to have, and I said I wanted to have 3/4. This is the optional argument here. It says it's 0.75% if you want of our line width, so of the length of our line of text here. So you can always change that the way you want. If I want to have it, let's say it's just 0.5%, so it's 50% of the line width. And this helps you to make all images the same width pretty easily. You can see it's now much smaller, and we could even make it smaller again. It's 0.25, and it's still here. If we make it even smaller, let's see if we can get it to appear on the previous page. No, we can't. It might just have been if it was small enough, but maybe the caption's too long now. Then we could have make it appear on the previous page because it was inserted here, and LaTeX might have added it on top. But you see, that's the LaTeX algorithm. Now, even if it's really small, it doesn't work. But if we take it and if we add it, let's say a little bit above that, then you should see that it will switch to the previous page. It's now on page 4, and now it's on top of page 3. And now we can even make it bigger again. Let's say it's 0.5 of our line width, and it has a reasonable size again, and it still stays on page number 3 because it has been inserted above. So LaTeX always tries to place it as closely as where you've said you wanted it to have, but there are a few rules. So it's always on top of the page. It's never between text, because it's not good to read a bit of text, then have an image that basically interrupts you while reading, and then continue the text. So the images are usually on top of the page, and if it's a beginning of a chapter, it's on the bottom of the page, but it's never in the middle. Yes, there are so-called modifiers that forces LaTeX to place it at a very distinct position, but don't use them. Let the images float, let LaTeX do its job, let the algorithm work, and you will see that it is much more rewarding than trying to place all your images yourself. It might be weird at the start that the images are not exactly where you want them, but the thing is, you always have your reference. Once you've said something like see figure 2.1 for details, it is clear what figure the reference goes to. And you can always, in a digital document, you just click on it and it jumps to the figure. And this is actually where you want to have it. So let LaTeX do the placement. Try to make the figures a reasonable size. 0.5 to 0.75 is usually fine. A full width figure, like in width is 1.0 of the line width, it is really huge. Don't make huge images unless it's absolutely necessary to have the details, but usually something like 0.5 works out really well. Just try to find a working scale factor for you, and then you're good to go. This is all there is to placing images. If you want to add more images, you can always use the button up there, or you just copy and paste this little fragment here. This is all you need. Remember to give your figures a good caption, a good label, and also a good naming scheme, and you're good to go.